All right, let's talk about someone pretty incredible. A man who, honestly, built a spiritual bridge between the East and the West. We're talking about a Hindu monk who traveled halfway across the world in the 19th century. And he didn't do it for fame or fortune. He did it on a mission that was really born out of desperation and, well, a whole lot of love. This is the story of Swami Vivekananda.
But we're going to start right in the middle of the action. Picture this scene. He's a total unknown, about to stand up in front of thousands of people who have never seen anyone who looks or sounds like him. And as he said himself, he was absolutely terrified. This wasn't some cool, confident guru. Nope. This was a man on the edge, and his entire journey was hanging on what was about to happen in the next few moments.
So where is all this happening? Chicago, 1893, the world's parliament of religions. And this was a huge deal, a massive, super prestigious event. The hall was packed. We're talking 6,000 or 7,000 people, the best and brightest of the country. And on that stage, you had learned men from all over the planet. And then, there was him.
So you have to ask, right? How in the world did he get here? This wasn't some official delegate sent by a government. He called himself one of a dozen penniless boys who started a movement. So to really get that moment in Chicago, we got to go back, way back, to the beginning.
It really all kicked off with a search, an intense, almost desperate search for something real, something true, in a world that just felt kind of hollow to him.
You see, as a young university graduate, he was a total skeptic. He was all about Western science and logic. He'd go around Calcutta and challenge these big religious leaders with one simple question: have you seen God? And it threw all of them off, all of them, except for one guy. An unassuming mystic named Sri Ramakrishna, who just answered, "Yes, I have, and I will put you in the way of seeing him too." And that one answer, it changed everything. For the first time, he realized that religion wasn't just about books or what you believe. It was something real, something you could actually feel.
But there was this huge conflict brewing inside him. For the longest time, he was haunted by two visions at night. In one, he saw himself as a man of incredible wealth and power, which, he felt he could achieve. And in the other, he saw the life of a monk with absolutely nothing but faith. He was being pulled in two completely different directions, but in the end, that path of the renunciate, of giving it all up, that's what took hold of his mind.
But his journey wasn't just some internal, spiritual thing. Oh no. It was about to slam right into the harsh reality of the world all around him.
After his master passed away, he traveled all over India. For years, he just walked, often starving, his feet sore, just completely weary. And what he saw was unimaginable suffering, poverty, and famine that he described as a load in my heart. For him, this wasn't some intellectual problem to be solved. It was a deep, personal pain. It was a bleeding heart. And through all these travels, he had this profound realization. It's something his own master used to say: an empty stomach is no good for religion. I mean, how could he possibly talk about deep philosophy to people who are literally dying of starvation? He saw a country that, he felt, had lost its way. And he knew, deep down, something had to be done.
So he tried. He went door to door in India trying to raise funds, trying to get support, and it didn't work. So let's be really clear. His journey to America was not some kind of spiritual tour. It was a desperate mission. He actually said, "It is the weak heart that has driven me out of India to seek some help for those I love." And that brings us right back to that stage in Chicago. Back to that nervous man whose entire mission, the hopes of his country, his own fate, it all came down to what he was about to say next. Think about it. All the other speakers, they came with these perfectly prepared, polished speeches. They were getting polite applause. Vivekananda? He had prepared nothing, absolutely nothing. He just bowed to the divine within himself and stepped forward. And he started with just 5 simple words. Not ladies and gentlemen, not distinguished delegates, something way more intimate, way more radical. Sisters and brothers of America. And the result? It was instantaneous. A deafening, 2-minute-long standing ovation just erupted from thousands of people. 2 whole minutes. Before he had even said anything else, he had completely won them over. He just shattered the distance between them with a single, simple phrase. When the applause finally quieted down, he delivered his real message. He talked about a faith that doesn't just tolerate other religions, but accepts them as true.
He quoted a hymn he knew from childhood. Just like all the different streams and rivers find their way to the same ocean, all the different paths people take, whether they're crooked or straight, they all lead to the same place.
The impact was just immediate and profound. He was an overnight sensation. The next day, the papers exploded. They were calling him the greatest figure in the parliament, the hit of the day. They raved about his eloquence, his fascinating personality. In one short speech, this unknown monk had completely changed how America saw India and its spiritual traditions.
But here's the thing you have to understand about Vivekananda. That thunderous applause, all that praise, that wasn't the goal, not even close. That was just the beginning. It was a tool for his real mission.
He once said, "I did not come to seek name and fame. It was forced upon me." He wasn't interested in building a new religion or getting followers. His goal was to make every single individual strong, to teach them that they themselves are divine.
So his whole philosophy, it really boils down to 3 huge ideas. Number 1, have faith in yourself. Realize the divine strength that's already inside you. Stop believing that story that you are weak. Number 2, see God in humanity. He said the only God to worship is right here, in the poor, the miserable, the downtrodden of all races. And third, serve. Don't just pity people. Make a great sacrifice, your whole life, for them.
And if you want to understand just how deep this commitment went, just listen to this. This one quote really captures the incredible selflessness at the heart of everything he did. This wasn't about finding enlightenment for himself at a cave somewhere. It was about finding God in the service of others, no matter what it cost him personally.
In the end, Vivekananda's life was proof of the power of a single, world-changing idea, to see the divine in everyone, and to serve that divine with everything you've got. He challenged everyone to find their great ideal and just give their whole life to it. And so the question he kind of leaves hanging in the air for all of us is a pretty simple one. What is the work you are ready to do?